What is up, guys? Hope you're doing well out there. Today I want to talk about my favorite piece of clothing, right? But before we come to what the piece of clothing actually is, I want to talk to you about like why this is my favorite piece of clothing. It basically is my favorite piece of clothing because I got it from my wife like 2 years ago. Backstory is 2 years ago in April, May 2018, I did an exhibition in Rome in an art gallery with SKINNOSH, which was called Path to Insanity, right? The idea was basically to have two main pieces, right? Two bags, one for women, which was the wings bag in that case, and one for men, which was the briefcase, right? So two models, and then different iterations of each model, right? One was like pretty posh and like a proper posh bag, and then we had like different iterations that went more towards insanity. And the last piece, which basically represented insanity, was like a burnt piece. You could barely tell that it was a bag. It was burnt and like ripped to shreds and whatnot. So pretty cool concept, pretty cool idea. Anyway, I traveled to Rome with my wife. Together we were in a car, drove to Rome, did the whole exhibition, spent a couple of days in Rome and whatnot. And my birthday was coming up, and we went to like different stores and like went for walks and stuff. So we went to one store, which is one of my favorite stores. I'll link that in the description down below. They probably don't even have a website, but I know that they do have a Instagram account and whatnot. So anyway, we went there and I looked at stuff, and they have like true artisanal stuff like Paul Harden and like brands in that area, right? Like avant-garde artisanal kind of brands. And I saw this awesome lab coat from FORME d'expression, right? Beautiful linen lab coat that is like reversible. It's in gray, and it was so beautiful, but I didn't buy it because it was kind of expensive. So it's a secondhand, should have said, man. It's a secondhand store, right? So you buy used, and obviously like the prices are a lot more affordable than if you bought them new. But this is still a piece that costs like 2K retail, right? So secondhand is still not gonna be cheap. So I didn't buy it. And then my wife bought it for me for my birthday, which was coming up. And she gave it to me. And ever since, like, this is my favorite coat, A, because it's a beautiful coat and I love it, right? But B, because of the emotional connection. And this is kind of the topic that I want to touch on today. It's like emotional connections to pieces. And I have so many different stories, and like, because that's to me the most important thing about a piece. It's obviously important that the quality is there, that it looks cool, that it suits my style and whatnot. But the most important thing to me is the emotional connection. And I have so many stories, I don't even know where to start. Maybe I'll not go too much into detail, but I'll touch on different subjects and different brands and like what the emotional connection is to me. So maybe let's start off with CCP, right? When I first saw CCP, I thought, okay, this is George Condo made into clothes. That was my connection. And to me, George Condo is really like, he doesn't do like beautiful paintings, right? He does like grotesque kind of paintings that expose the truth of a person, in my opinion at least. Like, that's my interpretation. And that's kind of the same with CCP, in my opinion. It's like, obviously the craftsmanship is top notch and whatnot, but those are not beautiful items, right? But they have like very strong character, and that's like way more valuable to me, character, than beauty, right? I never try to look beautiful. I want to look like I'm someone who has character. So that's it for CCP. And in my videos about the Vaporfly X%, I was chatting with a guy in the comment section, and I mentioned that the Nike and Matthew Williams shorts, you know, the one with the million pockets, is actually the shorts that got me into running, right? And that's kind of a same topic. So let me go back a bit. So 2 years ago, that shorts dropped, right? The first season of Matthew Williams and Nike. And I saw the shorts and I was like, wow, that's a beautiful short. And then I checked on like YouTube and whatnot, like to see reviews and close-ups and people like wearing it and stuff. And then when I saw it, I had like this strong emotion towards like sports and tech wear, and I don't know, it's really hard to explain, but basically that short got me into running, right? And now I've been running for like 2 years. I'm doing like 70-80K a week because of that short, right? And that's the emotional connection that I had to that piece, even though I haven't owned it at that time. But that's like the emotion that it brought out of me was like to do sports and like be protected from the elements and have like a technical element in that. And yeah, I've been running ever since, right? So thank you, Matthew Williams. Anyway, so for every brand and piece of clothing that I own, I have like an emotional connection towards it, and that is really strong in my case. I know that that is not the case with everybody, and lots of people that have emotional connections to pieces don't have it as strong as I do, and I don't know where it comes from, to be honest. But it's really like when I wear something, I feel a certain way, right? And that's probably a feeling that most of you know. And what's interesting to me is that you can use that as a tool as well, right? So the other way around. So let's say you want to feel a certain way, so you know you should just wear this. So one example is, let's say you have like an important meeting or whatever, and you need to be like, have power or whatever, right? Authority, power. I know I wear my CCP boots and I'm like, you know what I mean? So different pieces for different emotions, and that can be used as a tool as well, right? Which is pretty handy in my opinion. So I mean, you could mention a brand and I could tell you like what emotional connection I have to that brand and what emotions it brings forward in me, if that makes any sense. So if you look at Satisfy Running, for example, right? That's a brand that I recently discovered like a couple of months ago, and ever since like I understood what the brand is about, I bought an insane amount of pieces from them because that emotion, or that emotional connection rather, really resonates with my current state of mind. Let me explain. As I said before, I will do a separate video on Satisfy Running. I just want to quickly close the loop here. Obviously, Satisfy Running is a running brand, right? They do like lots of technical fabrics like ripstop and whatnot, but they also have like this rock, punk rock kind of vibe. A lot of their like product shots and promotional videos are like done in like Vegas and Death Valley or whatnot. And ever since I saw like those campaigns, I really got that feeling like I want to be in the running in the desert, right? To be like a cowboy, run in the desert. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's a feeling that I chase ever since I have been in touch with that for the first time. So now every time I run and I'm wearing like Satisfy Running shorts, I feel like, or I imagine like running through, I don't know, Death Valley, like rattlesnake left and right. You know what I mean? That's why I'm wearing a hat today. So obviously it's a part of marketing, and maybe I'm just a victim of marketing, I don't know. But sometimes I also like do emotional connections to pieces that have nothing to do with the marketing, right? So I don't know, you can answer that yourself if you want to. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about this beautiful lab coat here. As you can see, it's a beautiful lab coat, different shades of gray, different patterns. So it has like this pinstripe pattern, as you can see, different shades of gray. I usually roll up the sleeves a bit. Right, it's a perfect piece for summer in my opinion. Right, it's ultra thin, but it's kind of long as well. This is a size small, by the way, right? So it fits ultra long. I'm not sure how it's intended, to be honest, but I like the sleeves to be a bit shorter on this one. You know, I can roll them up, just wear a t-shirt underneath or whatever. So it has those beautiful horn buttons here on the side, and then 2 pockets, kind of a belt on the back, and then obviously here the chest pocket as well, which is kind of our signature for a lab coat, right? So yeah, great piece for layering as well, right? Because it's so thin, you can wear stuff on top or stuff underneath. I usually don't close it down, leave it open, just a t-shirt and jeans. So yeah, as I said, it's reversible, so let's switch the side. All right, so this is the other side. As you can see, same pinstripe pattern, but the pattern, or the fabric rather, is a bit darker, right? You have the same chest pocket as well as 2 pockets here. And the difference between the 2 sides is not drastic, but it's enough so that you can wear on both sides and look different, which is kind of cool. And then of course here, you know, you have the basic outer fabric here on the front, and it looks kind of cool as well in my opinion if you like roll up the sleeves and then you have like the matching lighter gray colors here. Yeah, it's such a beautiful, beautiful piece. And hopefully you agree, this is not just a beautiful piece because I got it from my wife and the emotional connection, but it's a beautiful piece in itself, right? The fabric feels ultra high quality. It's a linen, 100% linen. Linen is, in my opinion, the perfect summer fabric, right? It obviously has an artisanal touch to it. Yeah, and it's beautiful in my opinion. Love linen on the skin. If you don't know much about Forme d'Expression, right, you should check out their webpage, check out Instagram. It's a true artisanal brand, very small, pretty unknown in my opinion as well. But like the high-end artisanal avant-garde stores, like they usually carry Forme d'Expression. And there's so many hidden details in here as well. So you have like this pocket, right? And there's actually a line of stitching here. So it's like a small pen pocket basically. Yeah, and it's those details that like make the difference in my opinion. Yeah, not sure if you have a chance to really check out the fabric here on camera. Beautiful horn buttons. Yeah, this is by far my favorite piece of clothing. Why? Because of the emotional connection, right? My wife gave it to me as a birthday present on a trip to Rome where I did like an art exhibition. So all those different pieces, all those different parts of the story, right, make it into the perfect piece in my opinion. And yeah, I know I will not be satisfied with this video because this topic is so dear to my heart and it's such a deep topic. And I have so many stories to tell about like emotional connections to pieces. I just don't know what the perfect format is. And I will probably touch on that subject in the future again. So next up I will do a Greg Lauren video where I have like lots of strong emotional attachments to the different pieces as well. Same with Satisfy Running, as I mentioned before a bit. And I think like everybody has that, right? To a certain extent. Some people are more aware than others. Right? But when you buy into a brand, you usually buy into that image as well, right? And when you buy into that image has to be created, and it's usually created in like their marketing campaigns, but also in your head. And let's take like a completely different, I don't know, you buy Vuitton because you think you will be a different person if you buy Vuitton or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's the same concept, but obviously has different facets and whatnot. I mean, you get the concept and you get the idea. Another thing I wanted to add about this code is when I went to Paris then for the next fashion week, I wore this one and we did like a photo shoot where I carried like a briefcase and whatnot. And that's another concept and another idea, probably another topic for another video, right? Is like what memories you make with wearing a certain piece, right? I know like men especially have that with like watches or whatnot, but it can also apply to like clothing in my opinion, right? So if you have like an awesome experience with a piece of clothing that you wear, you will obviously attach that memory to that piece of clothing, at least I do. That's definitely another interesting topic as well, but I don't want to ramble too much. Please let me know down in the comments, like what's your favorite piece of clothing and like what's your emotional connection to it, if you have any, right? That's such an interesting topic and I would love to discuss that in the comment section. But yes, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers. If you like this video, smash that like button down.